Hello everyone. In today's video, it is a tour of the makerspace that I belong to. And the first place we're going is the basement. The basement is where they do the 3D printing. There's a craft area and a sewing room. And here's a first 3D printer. That one works most of the time. Various tools, examples of some 3D prints they've made. Another little 3D printer. That one does not work. It's something somebody is making. Hasn't worked since I've been here. And in here is a little crafting area. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff that doesn't work winds up here simply because that's the only place there's space. There's a little refrigerator and food preparation area. There's also another one upstairs. Various places to put things, a little bit of storage, and they also keep the computer servers down here. And the next room is the sewing room, and there are some high quality sewing machines in here. There is one industrial sewing machine that is capable of doing leather, and every once in a while you'll see a few people down here working. And next we'll go upstairs, and upstairs is where all of the power equipment is, power tools and like that. First place I'll take is machine shop, and you can't actually work in the machine shop unless you are certified by the machine shop manager to do so, and for good reason. This is probably the most dangerous area in the entire makerspace. You can literally get killed. These are very powerful machines, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose arms, and all kinds of bad things can happen to you. So you have to know what you're doing before they will give you a key to use it. But you can see we've got a Bridgeport. Here is a South Bend lathe here. We've got toolboxes. There's a grinder. And up here is the lock, where I told you that they lock the power so you can't turn it on unless you have a key. Here is a central machining central tool, which is now owned by Grizzly. And the second Bridgeport mill is here. And they've got an indexer, they've got drill presses, and they added a big jet bandsaw here, which is a new addition here for the shop. And next up, there is a finishing room in here where people do the painting and the varnishing. There's a fume extractor to carry the fumes out. And in here is the meeting room or classroom. This is where all the classes are held. It's nice and quiet in here. There is also another food preparation area in here. There's some reference materials. A lot of people spend all day in this makerspace, so they actually eat in here. It's almost like a home away from home for some folks. And next up is the storage area. This is the old storage area. I'll show you the new one at the end of the video here. But you store all your projects you're working on in this area. Those little green tags you see are parking tickets. As long as your project has a parking ticket, nobody will mess with it. And this is the woodworking area. A lot of people work in the woodworking area. Got a couple of table saws here. There is also a panel cutter they use to cut larger stock down to size. And in this cabinet here is a Shapeoko. You can book time to use the Shapeoko if you want to. You have to be trained in on this also. And here is a 4x4 Cnc router. I've never actually seen it working. I've never seen anybody use it, which is a shame because it looks like it'd be a pretty kick-ass piece of equipment, but I understand that it doesn't work. So here's some more assembly area. There's a joiner here. That wood area you see in the back, as long as nobody's claimed the wood, you can grab a piece of wood out of there and use it if you need to. Dust collection. There's a router table here. There's also a saw stop table saw. Some mortise and tendoning machines here. More dust collection. There's also a Grizzly thickness planer here, which comes in real handy. There's also a drum sander. And here's a hand tool working bench, more assembly areas, clamps, more clamps. You can never have too many clamps. And up here is a wall of shame for the saw stop. If you ram something in there and it causes the saw blade to get jammed up, it costs $150 to get that replaced, so I rarely use the saw stop saw. And here is some more woodworking area, more tables, sanding machines, and there's a couple of drill presses also, some other hand tools, more sanding equipment, and the storage area for hardware, sandpaper storage. Another router table is here, as well as various saws. You also have a really nice chop saw area here, as well as a nice big jet joiner. And they've got a couple of different band saws. You've got a jet band saw and this really nice, I think this is about an 18-inch band saw here. And now we're entering the laser cutter area. We got a nice Epson, I believe, is the brand. And you reserve time here on the computer for when you want to use it. And this is the computer that actually controls the laser cutter. And the laser cutter itself is actually at a nice big bed area in here. I'm not sure exactly what the size you can fit in there, but I know you can fit at least a 2 foot by 2 foot something of whatever you're going to chop into or scribe into. And the next area here is, this is the old metalworking area. I'll show you the new one at the end of the video here. They added another 3,000 square feet, so that's really nice. But I'll show you what we have here. Various shaping and grinding, and another drill press here. Various hand drills. There's an evolution saw. We've got another couple of little grinders. And they've got another sander and another chop saw here, as well as grinders. And over here is the plasma cutter. We've got a hypertherm plasma cutter, a horizontal bandsaw, as well as a plasma cutting table. And next up is what I affectionately refer to as the Widowmaker, or the arm remover. But it's actually not as bad as it looks. It actually spins pretty slow. It's got the coarse, the medium, and the fine sandpaper on it. That's a really old piece of equipment, but it comes in very handy. I've used it several times. And there's a welding table here, the air compressor. They also have an iron worker that has not worked since I've been here, and the blacksmithing area with all of the stuff you need blacksmith, all the clamps and the hand tools, the vices, the heaters, and the anvils. And here is the welding area. We've got a Miller Dynasty, as well as a couple of Miller-Matics. You can hear the blacksmithing area behind me. There are people building stuff. We've also got a very old Sinkerway, one of the first ones ever made. The thing is a beast. Absolutely just, it's like a 300 amp machine. And as you can see here, it's not a real big area. Basically, if one person is welding in here and no one else can weld, so that kind of sucks. But they did solve that problem in the new area. And they also have a nice big fume collector for the welding area. But here is the new metalworking area. As you can see, the blacksmithing area, they've got a couple new anvils. They've got much more room for space for building stuff. Nice and spread out. Much improved area. And here's the storage area and tool area for the new shop, as well as the new plasma cutting area. And here is the much improved welding area. There are 3 separate welding booths, You can MIG weld. They've got MIG welders and TIG welders here, as well as torches. Much nicer. And here's the latest addition to the shop. It's a Grizzly drill press. Here's the part number for all you guys who like to look up part numbers. It's a really nice machine. I haven't had a chance to do much with it yet, but I read through the manual and went through and turned it on and went through all the speeds, and this thing is smooth, man. This is a nice piece of equipment. And this is the old storage area, which the wood shop is now expanded into, so it gives a lot more room, a lot more elbow room for working. And the new storage area is where the old metal shop used to be. This has also expanded. There's more cubbies in here for members to use, so you don't have to bring your projects home with you every night. You can just put it in one of the cubbies here and safe and sound. Now we're back down to the first floor, and you can see there is an actual functioning Star Trek chair from the old Star Trek show that someone built. That's kind of cool. And here is the computer room where you can just walk in and start using a computer if you want to, surf the internet. Got some printers. They also have CAD software on the computers if you want to use that as well. And the last couple things I'll show you here. This is the electronics working area. They've got a digital storage oscilloscope. They've got soldering irons and power supplies and meters and whatever else you might want to use. And next to that, if you are a ham, you can use the ham shack here. This is the ham radio area, as well as just an area for chilling out and hanging out. So if you've got a maker space in your area, go in and check it out. You can play with the tools there without having to buy your own tools. Build whatever project you want to. And in some cases, some of it is pretty weird ass.